dude's like top 1% in the world.
Right.
He might look like he might look like he sucks that night, but he's 100,000 times better than I ever be.
Their athleticism is getting better and better.
You guys ready?
I'm ready.
You know,
I'm ready all the time.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
5-second countdown, then you start. So,
Which camera we start with?
you.
On this one? Or? Okay, cool.
You don't worry about it. Hold up, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Since it's the first one.
This is here.
You should say who you are,
Mm-hmm.
what the podcast is, and why we're doing it. You should give the who, what, and why.
Okay.
And then get into me. But you could do whatever the hell you want. I'm just
Okay.
here the one time.
Yeah,
but
I love
but
it.
you should give the who, what, and why.
Got it. I love it.
And 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. This is In the Studio with Levi. And I want to say thank you for joining in. You know, this is our first episode here. I want to invite you guys in, kick back, relax. You know, we're going to have a special guest on tonight. We have stand-up comedian Peter Berman coming into town. We appreciate him. First, we're in the studio. We're going to be bringing a lot of guests coming in and entertaining and educating and enriching people's lives, you know, and just sharing our stories and be thankful for the opportunities and hopefully have some sort of impact and trigger some thought, you know, maybe get some laughs out of there. But, you know, we want to be thankful for tuning in. We're going to be doing this once a week. So make sure you plug in, kick back. We're all caffeinated up, you know, and we're happy to be here. So let's go ahead and get it going. So I'm here with special guest Peter Berman.
Yes.
Hey, thanks.
I'm already feeling pressure. I'm supposed to entertain, educate, and enrich.
Absolutely.
Oh my
it's
goodness.
like a private school.
Oh my goodness. Well, the chair's comfortable. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
I've known you a while.
You know,
Happy to be here.
You know, we appreciate it. What's the funny part is it's my co-host couldn't make it. You know, he had the COVID water leak flu. So, you know, Dalton, we appreciate you. You know, thanks for. We'll see you next time.
This is an interesting hook on episode 1. On episode 1,
yeah,
you're already going co-host less.
Well, you know, I think it's we're gonna keep it cruising, but yeah, Dalton can't make it tonight. Next time we'll have him come in.
Wait. I'm just saying that's interesting, don't you think? Like, because instead of going, hey, it's just me and my guest, and then in a future episode go, oh, now we have a co-host. We're going co-host less right off the jump.
Yeah, maybe he's just.
All right.
Yeah, maybe
I hope he shows up. It'll be cool.
Tune in, we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, the Daltonator. But, you know, I met Peter. So the question was, how did we meet? Now, I think, you know, I had my medical marijuana collectives in Oceanside. And I remember having on my big screen, looking for talent, looking for stand-up comedians. And I remember stumbling on your stuff and just laughing my ass off. And the whole crew was cracking up. And I'm like, I got to have this guy on. And
I came down a couple times, right? A couple of theater shows, big old theater shows.
Yeah.
Do you have a good memory? I'm just curious. It seems like you do.
You know, under oath, I do.
Right. But even right now, it seems like you do. Under oath, you do. I think under oath, you're not supposed to, right?
Well,
I can't recall. I think when you're under oath, aren't you supposed to not recall?
I keep my statements short and simple just in case I got to eat them.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and I usually do. I have.
Yes.
But yeah, so I think, was it Facebook or Instagram? I'm not sure.
That's
but
why I'm asking if you have a good memory, because I'm agree with most of what you say.
Yeah, I think I slid in your DMs. I'm like, I want to invite you out to the show. We had you, Jimmy O Yang, Dustin Kaufman, a great lineup. And I was nervous. It was my first time doing, you know, hosting and producing.
Oh.
And you were very calming to me and gave me some good advice.
I remember those shows being killer. That's what I remember. Packed, fun. That's what I remember.
We had the mayor of
Theaters.
Oceanside.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Man. It was tough because they were dry shows, and I'm not a big bar guy. I don't do alcohol.
They were.
So the dry show was a choice. You know, I think getting a laugh at the bar is easy as a comedian sometimes. I don't know.
Even if you're not drinking, I mean, it's part of a atmosphere. So like a theater show where you're just sitting there and watching definitely poses
more
a different kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can't rely on the booze. Some of them were sneaking in. I think the mayor slept he snuck in a flask. I think I saw Mayor Jim Wood. I saw you slip. You know, but yeah. So the shows did good. I was thankful. I had my marijuana shops going on. We had a good run going, and then I got arrested.
Oh.
Yeah. The mayor I ran into him at Terry Cafe in Oceanside. It's a sushi place. Me and my wife were there, and he kind of said at the side of his eye, "I can't protect you anymore. They're coming."
Wait, did he kind of say that, or is that what he said?
That's exactly what he said. Mayor Jim Wood.
I've never been in that position, but
he said it on the side of his eye.
And then what did you say?
I was like, did he? To my wife, like, did he just say that? This is like a Dick Tracy movie, because he kind of said it. And guess what? They came the next day.
Yeah, he forgot to add one part to that. I can't protect you anymore. Starting now.
Right. It was literally like yeah. So then
and then you could have been like, now? And they're like, yeah.
Right. I don't wear a watch.
Like, what, like tomorrow? And they'll be like, nah, tomorrow probably not going to be good.
Yeah. Hey, Google, set alarm for they're coming tomorrow.
So are you still processing, like, were you at work when they came in? Is that what you're saying? The next day?
I just got done doing lunch with my family.
Okay, so during that, are you still thinking like, hey, the mayor, I keep thinking about this thing the mayor said about not being, were you thinking that?
Absolutely.
And then what happened?
Absolutely. Because I meditate a lot, and I kind of introspect. And did he say that? Because the question was, did he really say that? And I ran over it in my head. He did say that. And they did come, the timing of it. And I remember being incarcerated, being in a bad spot, like thinking about
Wait a minute, I'm going to interview you on your own podcast. This might be more interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait a minute. So the next day, who comes in?
Multiple task force units.
What's multiple? Like so many you're
the
like,
FBI,
oh, yeah.
The ATF, the DEA, the Oceanside Police Department, and the San Diego Sheriff's Department.
Okay, that sounds like 20 people to me.
It was at least 40, and they were in tactical gear. I came around the corner. I had my dog. I had my family, and we came around the corner. I remember thinking it was like a fire bomb squad. Someone called in. There was like a bomb unit. I'm like, and we came around the corner, and I just remember feeling like pins and needles throughout my whole body, and I remember they drew down on me, and they're like, "Get out!" And I'm like, I remember saying to my ex-wife at the time, "I think they're here for me." It was like a real moment. I think they're here for me. And I remember just telling her, "There's some money in the shoebox. Get the money in the shoebox." And then they kept. Everyone was listening. So what's the first thing they go? Pardon me.
Yeah.
What's the first thing they go do? Is So.
Well, also not to critique your money hiding skills, but isn't that where most people put it?
I put it in a shoebox that said taxes in my back seat.
Yeah, but
swear to God,
that's what's great about people hiding stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they would just look in the. Dude, when I owned a pet food store. So I owned a pet food store, and then when COVID hit, you couldn't go to the banks. Do you remember that? Like you couldn't go to the banks.
I remember.
Right.
Couldn't go to the bathroom.
But I was still open. I was like an essential business, so I was still bringing in money, and people were paying with cash. Right.
Yeah.
So you couldn't go to the bank. Right. And then I don't know if you remember in terms of money, or maybe this was a steady state for you with your type of business.
I was essential as well. It was a blessing.
But I mean, also you were doing something that a task force came, so you couldn't really stick your money anywhere to begin with.
I would hide it in diapers and dig holes in my backyard.
Right. But I mean, I was supposed to put it somewhere, right? But then I'm like, not only could you not go to the bank, then there was a time where like nobody knew what was going on. So then it was like, do I want to put my money in the bank? Right. Do I want to put my cash in the bank? Because how do I know what's going to happen to it? Right. So then that turned into me just bringing the cash home every night. Right. And then that accumulated.
Where do you hide your cash?
Well, that's what I'm going to get to. So then that accumulated to, and then when you could go back to the bank, I was like, oh, this is way easier than going to the bank. Like I wasn't trying to hide anything. It was still going through my cash register and stuff, but I just wasn't going to the bank.
Right.
So then it got to the point, I think I had like about $100,000 in cash in my top drawer,
You hear
like
that,
you,
IRS?
like you in a shoebox, right? But it's just in my top drawer. And at some point it dawned on me, this is completely stupid. Like if someone broke into my house, like where are they gonna look? Like,
Well, which window would they pick? Would you
well,
say?
whatever. Where are they going to look? Are they going to go look? They're going to go look behind the refrigerator? No, they're going to start in my top drawer, which is exactly
I would
where I
look in
had
the
it.
freezer and probably your top drawer next.
So then now I'm like, okay, now I do need to get it to the bank, right?
Because it's safer there.
Safer there, but now I'm like, okay, now I'm nervous about getting it to the bank, right? Like I've never driven to the bank and gotten a car accident and have all my money flown out.
Right.
Or I've never gone to the bank and got carjacked, right? But now all these possibilities of me getting it from my house to the bank are now arising, right? Like what if all these crazy different scenarios happen?
What if you get in an accident? Call Sweet James.
I could call anybody. So this is the plan I devised. I was like, okay, I'm gonna divide it into fours. I'm gonna take a fourth, give a fourth to my wife, and give a fourth to each one of my two kids. So unless one of them tries to rip me off, even if I do get in an accident or get carjacked, like 75% of this should be able to make it to the bank on time.
Were they allowed to keep it, or do they still have it, or is it in savings?
No, I got it to the bank.
So okay, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay. What's
I'm
the
just
last four of that
I'm just
account number?
saying I'm just saying your shoebox with the taxes idea, it was about as good as my top drawer.
That was a suggestion from my attorney.
Anybody listening, by the way, to this podcast at some point, it's gone, man. It's not in any drawer. It's
Don't
in the
put
bank.
taxes on it,
Yeah,
right?
don't-
Yeah.
but don't be coming to my house looking for. You're not even going to find $10 now.
Right. Yeah. Just cards.
Right.
So, I got arrested, and I had to, learn to change my ways. So I pivoted.
Oh, I think you're jumping way ahead in the story.
Well, I don't want to get too far.
Like
ahead
when you're getting arrested, like when does that sink in? Like, oh man, I'm getting arrested, because I think it's like we're like, besides money or whatever, we're completely free to roam the world, right? Mm-hmm. And then you aren't.
Right.
So when does that dawn on you? That sounds extremely heavy to me, dude.
Yeah, I think when the charges came, and I got 9 felonies.
Oh, man.
RICO, racketeering, organized crime. I had over 12 employees working for me at my collective, so it became like a bigger thing than I thought it was in court.
Right.
And it was right when they were battling of if this is a felony still. So, there was like money laundering. There was some other things that I had to fight and prove.
Yeah.
And I, thank God, beat it.
But like when they're locking you up for the first time, you're fine with that at that point?
Well, you go in. I remember, dude. I remember when I got arrested, I was drenched head to toe in sweat. And then 9 months later, when I got released out on bail, I got my same bag of clothes back.
Yeah.
It was drenched when I put it back on.
Oh, really? The jail doesn't properly launder your sweat arrest clothes?
Yeah, I was like, why didn't you do my? I asked for a gentle clean cycle.
That must be pretty weird for everybody when they get out to get back the same clothes you were. Do you know what I mean?
It had the same memories.
Well, yeah, the whole time you're in there, it's really about that moment, right?
Yeah.
And then the first part of your freedom is to be reminded of
same socks.
Got you. That's pretty wild.
Same underwear, same clinch. They're here for me.
So you're in jail first, right? Mm-hmm. I've not been arrested, so jail.
You've never been to jail?
No, I have not.
God bless you.
Yeah.
You're a good citizen. That's good. How's your driving record? You good?
Yeah, I'm cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
So, but jail's not prison. You end up going to prison?
No, I did MCC, which is Metro Correctional Center, downtown San Diego. They put me on a 23-hour and 1-hour lockdown. So
that sounds like prison.
Well, prison's when after you've been sentenced. So mine was more of a long-term holding tank, which they have the highest suicide rate at downtown San Diego. They only give you 1 hour of go play. And one day when I went to go play, I got jumped. Shout out to the Nazis.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I had to fight for my life for like 22 minutes,
Crazy.
It was, and it was, it was just a misunderstanding.
Just a big misunderstanding. And look at you. Now here you are doing a podcast.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what you're up to, or you said enlighten,
no
educate.
criming, no criming.
No, but
now.
you said enlighten, educate, and entertain. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think whether it's, I'm not trying to be too trippy, but don't we also just incarcerate ourselves all the time with our own thoughts?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to enlighten and entertain and educate your
That's right.
audience, I mean, that's a pretty big deal that here you are, post getting arrested, post MCC, post getting jumped. Here you are, man.
You want to hear a sweet
That's pretty
cherry?
awesome, dude.
It was. You want to hear a sweet cherry on top, Peter? I've been a male exotic dancer for a long time, since I was 21. The day
I've also not done that.
The day after I was released, I was getting, my phone was blown up for private parties. I ended up meeting a party bus with 20 women out front of downtown San Diego. I remember dancing, looking up at the building. I'm like,
right when you got out?
the day after.
Wow.
I remember dancing, looking at the building that I was locked up, and I remember dancing and crying. It was really mixed. It was psycho. Yeah, it was just a joyous moment of, like, I remember seeing that moment. It was a concrete building, and I remember the park, and I'm like, I had a realization, like, this is no way. This is the corner. No way. It was like a no way moment. I'm like, I'm back to dancing. It was awesome. So I got to go back to not only normal life, but, the smaller percent of what guys get to do is male exotic dance for Magic Mike and Chippendale for a lifetime. And I'm still dancing, touring. I just got back.
Holy smokes, man.
I know.
It's like a movie.
I got to shake my ass to pay the bills, Peter.
Whatever. Everybody kind of does in a way, though, don't they?
So I unlocked my mind of, I realized, dude, that playing chess with some guys that are never going to get out, what really pivoted my life. I remember playing chess with some guys that were on America's Most Wanted. Literally, they'll never see the light of day, and they're getting me advice, whooping me in chess. And they're like, you got to stop.
So wait a minute. These guys know they got no chance.
Right.
And they saw something in you for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to. No one can make anybody do anything, so they're just trying to give you some wisdom.
Absolutely. I was locked up with some pretty big gangster. The general for the Crips, I was locked up with.
What kind of stuff were they telling you? Or what resonated with you? I'm sure they told you a lot. What resonated with you?
That ain't the life. That ain't the life.
Because you're just going to end up like that?
Mm-hmm.
Or worse?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What a trip, dude.
Mm-hmm. So you got to stop working for the devil, is what they tell me. You got to serve. You got to serve God. If you're not serving, you got to choose who you're serving. So I looked at that. I'm like, so whatever it is.
Were they specifically? It doesn't matter to me. I'm just asking your answer. Mm-hmm. Were they specifically, when they're saying serving God, mm-hmm. were they specifically speaking of like an organized belief in God, or just what you believe in God, like to be doing the right thing or whatever? Like,
there's a mixture of. I have Muslim brothers that I did time with. I had respect their point of view. I have Jewish friends that had the kosher meals that the wise guys that I would play with. They're just
so they were just trying to point you towards the righteous way.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so.
And are you doing that now?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All the time?
I put in a lot of work. It is work. I have to deprogram like this persona, these layers of behaviors of like self-harm,
Right. But that work that you're putting in, do you think that's unique to you? I'm just curious. Do you think that's unique to you?
I don't know if everyone else shares the same struggles I have.
Listen, but here's what I think about. Here's what I think about that, like philosophically or whatever. Like, I believe there was a Jesus Christ. I believe there was a Jesus Christ, right? And I know there's like the Dalai Lama, for example, right? And I know there's like Mother Teresa, right?
Yeah.
And I know there's like the Pope, right? Mm-hmm. Now, those people that I just mentioned, we'll call them, I don't want to use the wrong term, but not icons, but those are noble, higher vibing people, right?
Right.
Do you think, in your opinion, like when they go to bed at night, Do you think when they go to bed at night, Jesus was like, man, I was killing it being Jesus today? Do you know what I mean? Do you think the Dalai Lama goes to bed, he's like, oh, today I was like, of all the days I've been the Dalai Lama, today I nailed it the most. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, don't you think that inner struggle, like, I think we all resist that inner struggle, but don't you think that's the inner struggle of from all them down to me and you? I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't live in that space where I believe that. I let my thoughts get away from myself like you do, and self-harm or depressing thoughts or bad thoughts. I think everybody does. Hopefully that's, I don't know, one of the things you would want to talk about on this podcast, because I think that if they have those thoughts, then who am I to not have those thoughts?
Right. I do want to spread awareness of, like, go get help if you need help. I have stripper buddies that work for Chippendales for a lifetime that are good-looking guys, can get any girl in a room at a party. They're the life of the party. Christian jumped in front of a train. They found his head like 2 miles down.
Yeah.
A lot of them turn into drugs. You go through like performer depression. I don't know if you ever go where you have like a super high and then you have a super low. Coming off tour, you have to be careful of not getting depressed. And, it's like...
yeah, but all that's running from what's really going on, don't you think?
Right.
That's what I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just asking you because you said that. I'm just like, I think that's for everybody, dude.
Yeah. I read a few Bibles. I read the Quran. I have more of a global perspective, but also, what it's interesting is like, it's all about behavior correction. It's like, I want to be a good guy, and I have a son. And I always ask him when he's playing with his figures, is that a good guy or a bad guy? And I want it to be clear. And he goes, well, what if they're both? I said, I don't think you can do both, son. Maybe you can, but then
I don't know.
I think pick a side.
I
want to be a good guy.
But you could strive to be one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because maybe, I don't know, Levi. I don't know. I'm just saying when you're like good guy, bad guy, so then if you have a bad guy thought, does that mean you're a bad guy? Do you know what I mean? And then you just accumulate bad guy thoughts.
Who's your favorite bad guy?
Well, I don't know, man. I'm trying, the older I get, the more I realize we're all just kind of doing the same thing. Do you know what I mean? We're all just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We're all, most people I think are just trying.
Yeah.
Those dudes that you're playing chess with, like, I guess people could say those are bad guys, right? And I personally might be terrified of them if I met them or even judge them or whatever. But there you were playing chess. They could have beat your ass if they wanted to. Instead, they were imparting wisdom to you.
Right.
So I don't know. Are they bad guys or are they good guys?
Right.
Or are they both at the same time? I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the correctional process of it. Is a choice when you go get incarcerated. It's a choice. It's almost like, I call it chess camp. You can go do some self-work and self-development. I started a very successful business when I was in there. I worked on my...
Selling soups.
I did. I sold soups and 2 scoops of coffee.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. If I'm going to give you 2 scoops of coffee on Tuesday, you got to give me 4 on Wednesday.
Oh, man.
I double up. I had stores.
Yeah.
I had mail, I kept my cell clean. We had Sammy the Bull in the same, he was there with us. And DeMarcos Lopez, El Chapo's godson, he was there.
Sammy the Bull, that's an interesting one, right? Because that dude ratted on John Gotti, right? And essentially was still alive. Not essentially, he's still alive, living somewhere. Like, that's not a big enough bullet to dodge. Then he does something else to get locked up again. Oof.
A lot of gangsters have spilled the beans, spilled the tea, all the way up. If you study real crime bosses, they've usually folded, and end up working with them to reduce their sentence or whatever it is. But yeah, Sammy's he's back in your face. What's up, Sammy?
I feel like I feel like my stupid stand-up comedy is nothing compared to this, really.
Oh, dude.
Except what we're doing is the same. Like, all I'm trying to do is, like tomorrow and the next day is, for me, the way I'm doing it, stand-up, is just trying to impart like those life lessons through stories doing comedy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm assuming all those things you're doing, that's what you're trying to do also, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, and then try to do that here.
We can come up with a crime together if you want.
No.
You sure?
No, yeah. Yeah, that loss of freedom thing sounds horrible to me.
Man, there was some petty people in there too. Some that we were hearing stories about that, like if anything can be a crime. If you have a conversation about thinking about doing a crime, it's called conspiracy. You shouldn't even have a conversation about doing a crime.
A crime of your thoughts.
Exactly.
Oof.
Keep your mouth. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you can be in a crime jail in your own mind. You are right. That's why I do a lot of binaurals now.
What is that? No.
Those frequencies I was playing before we started shooting. I stopped listening to a lot of toxic music from all genres, and I just started listening to binaurals. Scientists have proven these frequencies are ratifying cancer and tumor cells in rats and mice through frequency, 528, 963. So it has healing. So we can heal through sound. So if you think about what's on the radio, it's actually evoking, triggering high blood pressure, adrenal gland dump, go shopping, go buy some booze. It's like it just triggering you to go be a puppet in society, to go be a consumer. So watch what you listen to.
Well, my wife practices Buddhism.
There you go.
And my wife said we're pretty much always, well, she's shared lots of things, but one of them is we're pretty much always just grasping and craving.
I love that.
We're always just grasping and craving.
I love that. That is why you're a super cool human being.
Because of my wife? Great. Thanks, bro.
She makes you better. I do feel the Buddha in you,
we have a 24-year-old son.
Oh, man.
And he's wicked smart at math, which he didn't get from me, right? So he's wicked smart at math. And I don't know if you talk to math people, but it's practical,
I'm
right?
a human calculator.
But it's math, right? Like, so
hit me with an equation.
Well, math people are like critical thinkers, right? They're like, they're not like artsy or really about feelings. It's like, ultimately does the math prove out, right?
Right.
So I'd like him to be a little more emo, So I tell him this
like
thing.
Blink-182?
Well, just a little more empathetic, perhaps, But I mean, what I want from him is only just because I'm his father. It doesn't matter, right? I mean, he's 24, right? But anyway, I shared this thing that my wife shared with me. I thought he would get like a trip out of it, and like I wanted to see what he had said. And there's like this Buddhist, a Tibetan Buddhist. I hope I'm getting this right, but this Tibetan Buddhist meditation master. His name's Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, right? Mm-hmm. And he said, I don't know if it's like a riddle or a parable, but he said, the bad news is you're falling through the sky, and you have no parachute, and you have nothing to grab onto. The good news is there's no ground.
So we're always falling. Holy shit.
So that like blew my mind, right? I don't know what it made me feel, but it blew my mind, right?
Yeah.
So I shared that with my math-loving kid, and he said, I wanted to inspire some sort of like emotional thinking, right? And my son goes, well, if you fall long enough and fast enough, you'll hit terminal velocity, and then you won't feel like you're falling at all.
He's a man.
And I'm like, I don't think that's the point.
23, huh?
And then I'm like, or is that the point, though?
Right. It almost is like a new thought process, right? That's the Buddha in you. Yeah. So Christian and Buddha, fusion?
Fusion of all good things.
When I was in jail, I was doing Bible study and going to Christian school, and then also I was allowed to go to the temple too. And it was a time of meditation. And I think if you combine prayer and meditation, it's almost like peanut butter and jelly, and you can get a lot done doing that.
Yeah.
I think when you just like go and try to do like one or the other, you're missing the actioneering of it.
I don't think it's just how you manage. I'm just saying, I don't think it's just how you manage the good stuff, though, Levi. Don't you? Do you know what I mean? It's how you manage the.
Not too many Buddhists in jail is what I'm saying.
But it's also just how you manage the quote bad stuff.
Right.
Because if you think a bad thought and you're like, oh, but I meditate and I this and I that, but this bad thought came in, and then you sort of obsess about this bad thought, and then what does that mean?
You gotta let it go.
And then what does that mean?
Yeah, you gotta let it go.
Yeah, because you're falling and you have nothing to grab onto.
You're gonna give me a panic
attack. But there's no ground. No, do you know what I'm saying? We also want to label the bad stuff, and maybe I don't even know, man. Like when it's all going on, maybe the bad's not so bad and the good's not so good.
You know what really illustrated with the good versus evil is seeing Jesus arm wrestle the devil. And I've also seen it illustrated. Pause on that is illustrated. I've seen Jesus play chess with the devil. The devil's stressed out looking at the chessboard, and Jesus is calm looking at the chessboard. When I saw that illustration, there was guys that was drawing it in jail.
That's cool.
I'm like, man, that just shows what's going on with the two different energies of.
I always think it's fascinating when, especially as we get older, when something gets in that makes you go like, oh,
You're falling.
oh,
You're falling.
yeah, just I
love that.
when something makes its way in there to give you a second to be like, oh,
Right. Yeah. Little aha moments. That's what we have here. An aha moment. We'll have that as the segment.
I mean,
Realizations are awesome. That is the point of meditation, is to have your mind is like a carousel, and it's the same shit going around and around. It's all your unresolved issues. So one by one, if you go in meditation and start thinking about, I got to pay my electric bill, or and then you can come out of your meditation if you want. I read a book, changed my life, called Meditation in Plain English. Mindfulness in plain English, pardon me. And that's why I named my moving company Mindful Movers. If you need movers, call Mindful Movers.
If you need movers, call Mindful. Yeah, you shouldn't. You should call Mindful Movers.
Yeah, sponsored and brought to you part by.
Well, if you want to help somebody out who's trying to do a better thing and made a different choice and been somewhere and wants to be somewhere else, and you yourself want to be somewhere else and have someone move your stuff, then yeah, you should call Mindful Movers.
I appreciate that.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Hey man, we're in business. We appreciate that. Mindfulness is the next wave of conscious. It is the forward thinking of putting into action. Being mindful is okay, you're careful with things, you're considerate of others, you're thinking about others. So it's empathy to the max. Mindfulness is what I want to teach. And I teach all my guys, my movers, mindfulness. A lot of them are always listening to something. Hopefully you're listening to In the Studio with Levi and Peter Berman. Just a little plug there. But but they're
you
always
don't want to hire. We'll do our best, but we can't guarantee anything movers.
Right,
You don't want that.
They're got something going on over here. They got music. There's a lot of static in the world. So I teach, remove all the layers, turn off the radio, turn off the TV.
Yeah, you're mentoring people still?
I am.
Cool.
I do, because I want to try to help people to not make the same mistakes. I never glorify any of my mistakes. I want to make sure there's an arc to the moments where, it was just selling weed and but there was more things I want to confess. Is this a confession? Can you put a little outfit on you? I want to confess to you, Peter. No. Now I'm just doing my thing. I got a bunch of kids, it is all about the family. And, the MC Hammer song, Too Legit to Quit, makes more sense now. When you listen to that song and you've done a life of stress and crime and then you convert to legit.
Yeah, I just want to say, I mentioned Jesus, Buddha,
love it,
and the Pope, and you're referencing
MC Hammer.
I'm just saying.
He was also a preacher, wasn't he? He was a preacher.
I don't know, probably. Is he now?
Yeah.
I think he is.
Yeah, he's bankrupt, but I love it. Yeah, MC Hammer, God bless him. But those are all great people. I respect them all. I have Catholic friends. I
like talking to old people, dude.
I do too.
I like talking to old people. There's a guy, I don't want to say his name just in case.
Right.
No, just the stuff. Maybe, I don't know, maybe his family doesn't want it out there, but he owned a comedy club, a very successful comedy club, and he's an older guy, and he had some health issues, and those health issues led to a stroke, and that led to his present state where he's not catatonic, but no verbal skills, and he's in a elder care place with other people that have similar things.
Yeah.
And this was, not that he's not a great man now, but at least in our industry, was a great man who knew a lot of great people, and there he is, right? I'm visiting him. We're not even talking. I'm just sitting with him, right? But then I look, and this whole room is full of all these other old people like that, and I had this first thought, oh, look at all these, I just made them all sweet old people in my mind, and they were in that present state. But I was like, man, what are the statistical probability that these 30 old people in here that can't really talk and are eating cookies and drinking some stupid gross juice what are the odds that all of them were really nice people? Do you know what I mean? Like some of them are probably a-holes and racists and liars but there we all are, right?
Right. No, I've been there. I have a moving company. And
So, I mean, it's a lot of things could be true at once.
absolutely. We go to these memory care facilities. We get lost in them. They're like labyrinth. They have like security guards because they have people trying to run away all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I get calls from senior citizens that like, can you move me, get me out of here? I don't want to live here.
Oh,
they're trying to jailbreak out of like these senior
that's an
citizens.
advanced move.
Yeah. So I'm with you. You know, mental like cognitive decline is something that we want to spread too. You know, I'm on nootropics and it helps save me, get me off of drugs too. Like I remember being hooked on anything that would make me fast. Like, and I got on Alpha Brain. You know, it's nootropics.
Who makes that? Kellogg's? That sounds.
By Menon. You know, but it's like almost like Adderall, but it's clean. Joe Rogan pushes it.
Oh, it's like a natural way of getting the same thing?
It is.
What does it do to you?
It's for mental cognitive function and like memory. It's got some ginkgo biloba, some like lion's tail, some turkey tail, a lot of things that are natural ingredients that like help you remember your keys and like, you know, because, you know, maybe my wallet, what do I do with that? So it helps you stoner proof your life, if you will, but also like gives you clarity.
Cool.
I've noticed, so that helped me, you know.
You want to know what I think is a marginalized group? I'm not joking.
What do you got?
It's going to sound like a joke, but all these isms and all the stuff that's going on, like, I think, like, people that are lonely, I think that's like a weird group we don't talk about. I think a lot of people are lonely.
I love to be alone.
I didn't say alone.
Oh, lonely. Like your Tinder people or?
No, I'm just saying I just think people that are lonely, like, I don't know, like those
Craigslist lonely?
No, like those people that you said, you know, dancers and stuff like
yeah.
that. I think ultimately that's a form of loneliness at some point.
A lot of entertainers are, yeah.
But I mean, at some point but a lot of people are, don't you think?
Yeah.
I think when you think you have to just deal with your stuff by yourself, I think that's lonely.
Right. Yeah, I think solitude and lonely is two different things. Yeah. I like to be by myself because I have all the voices turned off. Like,
yeah, a lot of people like to do stuff by themselves.
Yeah. I don't watch porn, though. You know, I haven't watched porn in 7 years.
Interesting. When it's more accessible than ever.
Right. Yeah. It's just, it becomes like an addiction, you know, and you're fast forwarding through life. And it's like, you know.
Yeah, dude, I get the regular boring crap, just arguing with my wife.
You don't watch
not
porn?
Getting along with. No.
Good for you. When was the last time you watched porn? 1989. Do you remember the first time you watched porn? Let's go there. First time.
I'm assuming when it was like honestly on the road, like it was like accessible on like your TV for like a few minutes.
You were
Probably.
older? Like you were 18, 19?
No, I think that was still like Playboy and Hustler. I'm not
Right,
joking. I'm
yeah.
57.
Right,
I think
you started
back
with
then it was
magazines.
still might have been like
Magazines.
on film.
Oh, wow.
So I think your first porn was like magazine version,
Okay.
like Finding My Dad's or something. But like moving porn,
Right. Moving
like,
porn?
like moving porn probably would have been
Moving porn?
probably would have been yeah, like being in a hotel room and it's like or maybe Cinemax.
You know what?
Maybe
I'm glad
like
you segued.
Cinemax.
Yeah, once you Google Levi Steele, I ruled.
On Cinemax?
Oh, yeah. That's
Oh,
right.
that was classy, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
I did all Playboy TV for years, Skinemax.
Plotline.
Dude, there was character development.
Yeah, character. Yeah.
I was on Co-Ed
Yeah.
Confidentials, all those, man.
Yeah.
I had long hair. I assume maybe you watched some of my old stuff with the lights low. Do you remember the sunburst?
No.
That's funny. So then it's been years. So then you've been married. You don't watch porn. Isn't it like refreshing though? Did you ever have a battle with like wanting to watch it and like say no? Like you're just easy to.
No, she would have watched it with me too if I wanted, I guess.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That'd be awkward to watch.
No,
porn.
I'm just saying I got regular problems. Those are enough. like,
What do you got?
I mean, I'm working on the same stuff as you, and I didn't go to jail. That's all I'm saying.
I sleep in the other room, dude. I don't know
I'm
about
just
you.
saying I'm working on all the same stuff, and I didn't do that.
You
so.
don't sleep in the other room?
Oh, I've slept in the other room a bunch.
Oh, dude, I've been there for a while.
Oh my God.
I'm in the other room.
Here's the problem. I see it. If you're like married and you're trying to work it out, like you both want to work it out.
Right.
There's there's hurdles.
Right.
One
Sure, her credit's bad and she can't move out.
no, one is they want to talk.
Right. That's a lot.
That's a lot,
that's gonna
right
take
there.
time.
Just want to talk, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, if you make it through the talking, which is really difficult
God,
for everyone,
yeah.
maybe the talker.
Exhausting.
But then here's the other thing: is they ask questions.
Oh God.
Right, ask questions, and then it gets
Like a
even
detective.
trickier because then, like, what I do is and I can't recommend this or not, but
She's
what I do
reading it.
is I answer.
She knows if you're
I
lying.
answer the questions, right? No, worse, dude. I answer
Truthfully.
honestly.
Yeah, quickly.
Yeah. Yes.
It better be prompt.
Right. So
Yeah.
none of that.
Right. No hesitation. She's gonna-
Questions,
yeah.
talking, answering.
Any arguing?
It's all a minefield. Any arguing?
When was the last time? What was a good argument? What was it? Was it something petty?
We all the time, bro.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm
Well,
tired of it.
How long does it take, like, to go to start to finish, like, before you get over it? Because you've been married for a long
Well,
time, right?
here's how long it takes it to start. I'm gonna say under a millisecond.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're not paying attention, or
A lot of times, I just think as a guy, maybe in general, a lot of times.
is she naggy? Dude, mine's.
It's not like that. I can't even label it. It's more subtextual.
Don't they
It's all-
start off with a soft, gentle? You know, I took my chick out, my family out to dinner, and the waitress had her top open, and I'm doing my best. You know what I mean? But her voice was like Ariel in The Little Mermaid. She was singing to me. It was, you know, and my wife, she was like,
So she doesn't want you to have a reaction.
she doesn't want anyone talking sweet to me. So I'm like,
Well, wait a minute.
I wish you talked to me like.
Well,
the
wait a
waitress.
minute. I'm just saying. So she doesn't want anybody talking sweet to you.
No, it has to be just.
That's you're gonna try to control the universe. So she doesn't want anybody talking sweet to you.
She's Colombian, so
Well, I don't know what that means. Do they?
she might stab me.
Wow.
This is more like a reach out for help, actually.
So I'm just saying, if like
Got it on
somebody
camera,
walked
so
in here,
I don't have any.
but if somebody walked in here right now, if somebody walked in here right now and just
protect you.
talk, talk sweet to you,
Oh God.
she doesn't want that.
Well, yeah. That's why you're here, and
Oh,
not some
my
hot chick in a
goodness.
skirt.
Oh my gosh.
No, a chick in a hot skirt, I might peek and see if her panties. You know, if she's wearing. Are you? You know.
Mine's different. My wife will ask me a question, like I said, and I'll answer the question
And then
because I'll think
the
that's
word
what she
is
wants
bond.
the answer to. But I don't know what the real question is, bro. I just know it's not the one I answer.
Does your wife watch all these reality shows like 90 Day Fiance and 90
No,
Day
she's
Lockup?
a Buddhist.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
then she's not receiving any of that junk. That's great.
It's not.
Oh, dude, that's
are you
great.
getting that's great off of me?
No.
Like what? Like-
Well, she's meditating a lot.
yeah, she meditates a couple times a day.
That's awesome, man.
Awesome for who?
Well, you get a break, or at least twice a day. You get a little break. Do you meditate too, or do you?
You know, this is my new. I should market this as a course or a class. You know how intermittent fasting is like a big thing.
Yeah.
Intermittent fasting is like you don't eat
I
for
do it every
18
day.
hours,
Yeah.
right? And then you fast for 18 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and then you eat for 6, right? And then when you do eat for those 6, it's small portions, moderation, and you don't go crazy, right? Okay, this is what I think, dude. If you're married, this is what I think will help everybody. Intermittent marriage. Yes. You don't try to be married all day. That's just too hard and too much.
I forgot my ring,
You
sorry.
don't even start trying to be married till like 4 p.m.
Right.
18 hours,
Yeah.
you do not try to be married.
Right.
And then you try to be married for 6 hours in very small portions and
No liking photos. No liking.
whatever. It's very small. And like if you want to go to a movie in those 6 hours, or she like wants to go to the gym, but that counts towards your 6 hours. Intermittent marriage.
I love
I
it.
believe.
I'm gonna start.
I'm telling you.
We should launch that.
Because what happens if you intermittent fast, but then you go off the fasting? You gain all the weight back, right? So what will happen if you don't subscribe to intermittent marriage? You try to be married like around noon.
You're too much married.
Too much married, dude. It won't work. Intermittent marriage. I'm just telling you.
We gotta lighten the load. It's too much married. That's brilliant. I love it.
Intermittent marriage.
We're gonna start within the other room, and then we'll go from there.
Can't start being married till 4, baby. Sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, the Buddhists. I have one of my childhood friends that's always on Facebook. That's always sharing the word of the day and all the different.
I can't get enough of that.
It is a lot to handle because he's white from Indiana and he's completely adorned and assimilated into the whole garnet. You know, like he looks great, but it almost looks like he's. You know what? Shout out because he's probably gonna watch. God bless you. You know, it's interesting when people find and then pivot and really immerse themselves. So you know, he does share a lot of peaceful things.
Everybody shares a lot now, bro. I share a lot because a comedy club booked me to go share, and then I share a lot on stage. But like, go to my Facebook or whatever. I'm not sharing a lot. Why does everybody want to share so much?
Yeah, what's up with you?
Back to like Buddhists and monks. Are they out there like sharing all the time? No, they're
selfies.
like. Yeah. Like, I think we should share less.
So I have no selfies. So no selfies in the Buddhist thing. Yes, the whole selfie nation is ruined. Like at the gym.
I think we should share less.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you ate last week, Peter.
Keep it to yourself.
I know what comedy club you're performing at, but I don't know what you ate, and I'd like to know actually.
Less sharing.
Less marriage, less sharing.
I'm not saying none.
Right.
Some.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So.
And this has been a lot of fun, dude. You know.
For me. I think you have a story to tell. We all do. But you have a unique story to tell, and I was going to say you should, but I have a joke in my act about how no good advice comes after you know what you should do. We always telling people you know what you should do. So I'm going to rephrase it, not say you know what you should do, but you know what you could do. You could keep sharing your story because it's very unique, and I think it would potentially help a lot of people. And not just the good part, like the struggle and what you're still struggling with. I think you could do that, and I think that could be a benefit to people. But I'm not going to say you should do that because...
I was locked up with a trans person, and I ended up... this person was a Golden Gloves boxer. It had she did win over the respect. She will win over. You will call her, by her name, and I don't want to call her out, but the guards will tell you to put your bra back on. You know, she has boobs, but she's kind of built like Mike Tyson, and she was the level enforcer. So she would, run fades a lot. So she was. A very intimidating person. By like month 4, I was braiding her hair.
Well, she sounds sweet.
And if you didn't, you don't want to be her enemy. I remember like just trying to stay away from her, just like being new to trans, and I don't want to be a hater or homophobic. I'm a very character-based,
that wouldn't be my issue. My issue would be I'd be trying to be careful with not getting my ass beat. That would be, because I really don't want to get my ass beat by anybody.
Right.
Whoever, whatever your pronoun is,
right.
I prefer not to get my ass beat.
What the cool thing about...
or to have to try to beat someone's ass.
Right.
Doesn't sound...
It's a room full of... if you can be respectful, you're going to get along great. That's why, you would do fine. Let's get you in jail. Let's do a crime.
Right. So if you're thinking about committing a crime, listen to some hot tips.
Right. We'll start... What I did make a mistake was when I was out on bail is I started working for the cartel, and I was...
Wait. Just let that marinate. Yeah. Just wait. No, let's just let that marinate. Yeah. The mistake I made was after I got out, I was working for the cartel.
I was out on bail.
If the cartel is not some like cool Mexican restaurant in Carlsbad, I'm gonna say this was not a good idea.
It's a hot dog cartel.
Yeah.
No, I made a mistake, dude. When you're out on bail as a felon, it's hard to find work. And my federal probation officer was like on my ass of going to get a 9 to 5, and I need to see tax right away. So I went and was working as a mason. You know, I was driving in traffic behind a truck that said need a job or something. And I was calling the number in traffic.
Call the cartel. 1-800. Yeah, no.
Right. El Chapo.
It does sound problematic if you get out of jail and your probation officer wants you to get a job and people don't want to hire you. Yeah, that sounds problematic.
Well, that's right. When the whole thing was, after seeing a shrink, was I was trying to please my dad. He always wanted me to.
Wait, are you hiring people that got out of jail now? Do you hire people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The people that have committed to changing their ways, because I can spot bullshit.
Yeah, and you're not the cartel.
Correct. Correct. But I was a subcontractor for a few years. Yeah. So I was smuggling illegal immigrants for getting them across the border. And I was doing it for a couple of years. I was getting like $2,000-$3,000 a head, and I was putting them in my back seat, you know, just driving them through. So one day I was out on a job site. I'm not a construction worker, dude. I'm an actor, comedian, dancer. I'm in steel-toe boots. I'm on this construction site. I have this realization, like, dude, what am I doing? One of these guys, his jaw's going crazy. You know, he's like, do you want to make some extra money? And I'm like, yeah. You know, so then he's like, all right, I got a guy. So then you're going to get a call, you know. So I got a call and, you know, meet at this casino and pick up a couple of my friends and give them a ride. Nothing extra. It was just very simple. I liked it, right? Keep your words simple, sweet, just in case you got to eat them, right? So I did it, and I made, dude, I remember this. I get, you know, I get the call. I'm excited. I'm anticipating. You know, I call off the Freemason job.
This is like way better than Uber.
It's in the studio with Levi and Peter Berman.
No, I mean, you're giving people rides for.
Oh, dude, it was, and you know, they were
You're crazy, bro.
They start off small, and they fit my back seat, and all I had to do was just give them a ride, and they would just give you cash after you deliver them, you know, and they just kept getting bigger. Every time I'd show up, they'd get my back seat. I swear to God, they got bigger.
Let me ask you this. When that was going on, do you even think, like, how long could I make this work? Like, that just sounds like that cannot work for very long.
Well, I would binge watch the smuggler shows.
Oh, good gosh.
And I would receive a lot of you know.
No, I get it. So now you're trying not to listen to all that kind of stuff.
I'm not in that world anymore.
Yeah. Whew, good for you.
Yeah. But I was just giving them rides, and I felt like it was part of like the new age Underground Railroad of like uniting people, their families. It wasn't like bad guys. It was like people that wanted to go see their Mexican families. That
Understood.
Right.
I feel like I'm an accomplice now. I got you.
Everything's done.
Yeah.
I'm innocent.
Here we are.
That's right. So I've learned the immigration process. It's a whole process. I learned. You have to go and apply and stuff. The judge.
So your takeaway.
Explained.
Yeah.
He explained.
Yeah. So you just found out later.
Through the process.
Yes, it was a big misunderstanding.
The due process thing was the misunderstanding.
Yeah. Right.
So then, you know, that was like another pivot where I can't bullshit myself. You know, when you get in trouble and you kind of like get out of it and you're like, aha. You're only fooling yourself. So you can't keep doing that. And that's what I was doing. Like, I got away with one thing, and then I was like, aha. And I was like, nope.
Well, I'm going to just say again, not that form or fashion, but I do the same thing.
Right.
You bullshit yourself, whatever that means to you. You get away with it until you can't get away with it anymore.
Illegal immigrants
luckily mine wasn't that. Mine just like my own mental. Either way,
it was more mental. It was less physical.
Even still,
right,
imprisoning yourself without me being in prison.
You know how common it is for people getting. I want to spread awareness too. No bullshit. I want to spread awareness. If you ever get asked to go, if you want to make extra money, say no. I'm being serious.
Say no.
Yeah, because if you need to go pick up a ride for somebody, I guarantee you it's going to be an ambiguous trap. There are thousands of people getting cursed.
No, not for me. I'm just saying for me personally. Mm-hmm. If someone said to me, hey, you want to pick up some dudes, they're my friends.
Well, first extra, do you want to make some quick cash?
Quick cash. They're
Who doesn't like quick cash?
In Mexico.
I'm a stripper.
You just have to drive them here. Me personally, I would have been like, man, I don't think so, man.
What if they were in the United States?
Probably even still, I don't think so.
You name your price.
I make my.
You're a good guy. You know better.
I'm not saying good guy. You said good guy.
You must.
I'm just saying I wouldn't do that. if you got in my car with your producer here in the studio, I'd make you guys buckle up.
That's the
So
law.
I
It's
don't
the
know.
law.
I don't know if we got all the way to something else.
Click it or ticket.
Right. So I don't know if I'd make it to, I don't know your names. I'm going to just drop you off and you're going to give me cash. I mean, sounds exciting, but I don't think so.
Dude, criminals are so crafty that they're hiring Ubers to do it. And then the Uber driver is going to court saying, I was just picking up a fare. You have to actually check to see if they're an illegal immigrant. Right now, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers are going to jail. Taxi cab drivers are going to jail. And tow truck drivers are going to jail. All of them for picking up a ride. They don't know. They're not doing an immigration scanning process. They're just showing up to pick up a fare. I knew what I was doing was wrong after due process.
After it was pointed out to me.
Dude, I was sweating so bad, dude.
Yeah.
You know I would dress up in a fireman, one of my Chippendales fireman outfits.
The bigger thing is that you participate in these risky things for you, and that you can do that. Like some people, I'm like me. I'm not. You said good guy or whatever. I'm not saying that. Like I personally have a filter.
You buckled up and we weren't even
No,
going
I have
anywhere
a
in the
filter
parking
to
lot. He buckled up, we weren't even going anywhere.
But everybody else has a limit to what they are, how much risk they're willing to take. You're willing to take a lot of risk. That's pretty wild. And here you are.
I used to. Now I understand.
Yeah, but
risk.
I'm just saying here you are.
Right.
I mean, I go out and talk to a room full of people every night. Pretty risky for not like that risky, but it's risky that a lot of people don't want to do it. And here we are.
That's right, brother.
In the studio
with Levi and Peter Berman, so we would dress up. I would dress up in a fireman costume, and we would show up to these checkpoints and the border patrol. All these guys are in on it with each other. They're all winking to each other. I'm on the phone with my guy. They're up in the mountains on lookouts, all talking. They all know what vehicle, what pattern of group of vehicles. All right, you see that red car? Okay, keep going. That's one of us. Okay, you see that border patrol? They're with us. Keep going. Okay, So I was literally excited through the whole process, but I really didn't need the money.
Yeah,
I had bills to pay. You know what I mean? I was sneaking in my girlfriend at the time through a window. I was subleasing at a place. It was like a furnished garage. I was sneaking my dog through the window. Shout out to my federal probation officer, dude. She was so cool. She, she cut me some slack.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm not trying to wrap it up, but I'm assuming we're going to wrap it up soon, right?
That would be awesome.
I'm just wondering. So all this crazy stuff. Seriously, what you said you wanted to enlighten, educate, and entertain. So I'm just saying, what do you want people to take away from all that stuff?
Turn off the radio, turn off the TV, turn off all the noise, go and try to do active meditation, get into...
To have what happen?
Realizations, these aha moments,
And then what happens from them?
You identify your unresolved issues.
And then what happens?
Then you can take the course of action to resolve them.
And then what happens?
Then you start to reduce this carousel of these pop-ups of things that bug you.
And then what happens?
Your blood pressure starts to reduce.
And then what happens?
You have more clarity.
And then what happens?
You can be more mindful and you can make better decisions and be more present.
Yeah, and then what happens?
You can have great conversations with people and, share your mistakes so they can...
In some reality.
That's right. All truth.
In the truth.
No cap.
In the truth.
That's right.
Because the truth is the truth.
That's right.
Is the truth, right?
Oh, that's right.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You want to end it there?
Or take it to trial, whatever.
That seems like a good spot.
How we doing on time?
We're at an hour.
Well, man, I tell you what, that's when to wrap it up. I'm still learning how to wrap it. Internal
clock.
I love it. TikTok.
But I think all that stuff you said at the end, man. I don't know if anybody's watching this or listening to this, and you think they don't want to listen to the whole thing. Fast forward to that last 1 minute, kind of gold.
Dropping gems.
I mean, I think it's kind of gold. I think it's what we're all trying to do.
Certitude. I want to leave that word. The word of the day is certitude. Serving others. Stop serving yourself. Stop being so self-serving. Be selfless. But don't, my mom was always so selfless. Don't be like this empty hole of selfless. Take it to a new spot. Certitude. Serve others. This is Levi signing off. Peter Berman, thanks for
Hey,
tuning
man.
in.
Thanks for having me here, for
Hey, man,
real.
thanks
Thanks
so-
for all the conversation, buddy.
You got it,
Thanks,
brother.
man.
Peace be with
Appreciate
you.
you.
Many successes.
Peace be
Thanks,
with you.
guys. Awesome, brother. Awesome sauce.